Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I thought I'd go ahead and rank every DreamWorks movie that I have seen. And I wanted to do this for a while, I just couldn't figure out how to get it across. But I finally figured it out today, and yeah, let's get this started. So first starting off with Shrek 1. Easy S tier. This movie is so good, so iconic. Honestly, man, I wouldn't... This is honestly just a really good film all around, very funny, and DreamWorks absolutely killed it with it. Next up is Shrek 2. Also S tier, probably the best Shrek movie out there. Honestly, is so well written, very funny jokes, very memorable stuff. I still remember watching this a lot as a kid, and it's absolutely awesome. Next up, Madagascar. This movie... Oh shoot. Sorry guys, trying to get the hang of this. Now, Madagascar is honestly a fan favorite of mine. All the Madagascar movies as a kid was absolutely awesome. So I'm gonna put this as S tier. Absolute amazing movie with all the animals in the New York Zoo, and then getting transferred to Madagascar, and you know, meeting King Julian for the first time, and then trying to find a way to get back to New York, and the penguins doing nutty stuff. It was honestly just a very good film all around. Madagascar 3. This one's not that bad. I'll put this one as an A tier. So it absolutely had an amazing opening scene with them trying to get back at the penguins for abandoning them after the end of the second movie. Absolutely amazing starting, but after like the first 20 minutes it kind of got boring. But it wasn't necessarily a bad movie, so for that I'm putting it at A tier. Wallace of Gromit: Rise of the Were-Rabbit. This movie I have seen, but not for so damn long. But honestly, after watching it when I was a kid, from what I remember, it's a decent movie. I'm gonna put it at B tier. It's not that bad, but in my opinion, it's not that great. Over the Hedge. Oh man, I loved this movie as a kid. Easy S tier. It's just such a good movie from 2006. With RJ the raccoon trying to get food for the bear, and then him basically manipulating the animals that were over the hedge from the civilization to get the food for him, and then having an epic chase scene with the exterminator and the animals. It was just so good. So easy S tier for me. Flush Away. I honestly really liked this movie as a kid. I don't think it's necessarily S tier, but I would say A tier for me. It's honestly a really good movie all around. Very creative, and the stop motion, like the 3D animations were so good. I think DreamWorks killed it with Flush Away. Shrek the Third. This movie, honestly, I'm gonna say B tier. Because, like, it's honestly the worst Shrek movie out of all the four, in my opinion. It's not necessarily a bad movie. It's just, like, it's not that great, and the writing wasn't really that great either. A decent enough story, but it just wasn't really for me. B movie. I'm gonna put this one... It was a good movie for me. Like, it was honestly funny. Jerry Seinfeld plays the main character, which is Barry Benson. I'll put it as A tier. Well, actually B tier. And that is because, like, it was a good movie, just like not my favorite, you know? Madagascar 2. I have not seen this movie in multiple years, but honestly, I'll put this one as A tier. Actually, no. No. S tier. S tier, honestly. With Alex reuniting with his family, but then with a passage ceremony where he has to fight a lion. I forget his name, but he has to fight this lion that wants to be like the alpha lion, but then confuses it for a dance battle, and he has to, like, you know, make up for it somehow, I think. And then the watering hole dries up close to the end, and then Melman tries to sacrifice himself because he thinks he's dying, but he's not. And then him and Gloria getting together, it was just so good. Monsters vs. Aliens. Ugh. I'll be honest, man. This movie's not that great. I'm gonna give this movie. I'm contemplating between C and D tier. Honestly, it really wasn't that great of a movie. It didn't really accomplish anything. I'm gonna put it as C tier. Not really have much to say about this movie. It's just kind of boring and doesn't really have a purpose to it. But you know, now here's where stuff gets nice. How to Train Your Dragon. This movie, easy A tier, man. The reason why I put it A tier is because such a good movie. It is. It's amazing. I love it so much. And I rewatched it recently on Netflix, and I love it. It's such a good movie. It's just compared to the second and third movie, it's not as good. But it's absolutely a fantastic film. Where we go from these Vikings who are trying to kill dragons, and then this kid Hiccup taming them, and taming a very endangered dragon called a Night Fury, naming him Toothless, and then trying to get the rest of the Vikings to go along with it and taming the rest of the dragons, thus calling it How to Train Your Dragon. Absolutely amazing. Now, How to Train Your Dragon 2. See, I have not watched this movie in so long, but this is obviously, this is an S tier movie. Absolute S tier. Because, like, from what I remember, this movie absolutely killed it. The music was amazing. Hiccup becomes chief at the end. There's an amazing villain who was Drago Bloodfist, who with his army of dragons would try to, like, you know, like run away the Night Furies or whatever, from what I remember. His ultimate goal is just to conquer the world, and that's kind of uncreative. Yeah, it's really not that exciting. But then Stoic, Hiccup's dad, ends up getting killed by Toothless because he gets hypnotized by Drago. So rest in peace, Stoic. But honestly, all around, the ending was amazing. The story was great. Hiccup reunites with his mother, like halfway through. It was amazing, man. It was a great watch. Now this movie, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Now some of you might be upset, especially my brother, when I put this one in front of How to Train Your Dragon 2. But listen, man, I rewatched How to Train Your Dragon 3 like a week ago. Absolute amazing film. I love it so much, and the ending I can't stop watching on YouTube. The ending with the music, Hiccup reuniting with Toothless at the end. Amazing, man. I love How to Train Your Dragon 3. I gotta say, these three movies I highly recommend going to watch. They're so good. The How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is one to remember, and honestly, you guys should go watch it. Shrek Forever After. This one, it's not bad, but it's just not for me, man. I didn't really get a sense of enjoyment out of it. I'm gonna put it as a C tier. It's basically like Shrek, but what if? Megamind. This movie's honestly an A tier, man. This maybe even an S tier. And I would say I rewatched the whole thing recently, but I watched a good portion, probably most of it recently, every now and then, and it's honestly a great film. Very creative, and it shows how even if you have superpowers, the only thing truly holding you back is yourself. Honestly, a great message and a great film. Puss in Boots. Not gonna lie, man. This movie was kind of bland. I'm gonna put it as a C tier, honestly. It wasn't that great. It was good at some parts, but it's just not for me, man. It's okay. It's just okay. Rise of the Guardians. I haven't watched this movie in quite a long time, but honestly, I would say this movie is a B tier movie for me. The whole gimmick is that with the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Sandman, whatever the heck that is, and then Jack Frost, these guardians only exist if the children believed in them, but the boogeyman, the main villain who is very forgettable, is trying to scare fear among the children. And then at the end, all the children believe in the guardians at the end, and then the boogeyman gets defeated by his own, like, minions, because they smell fear and go after the fear. And then the Boogie Man had fear at the end, so yeah. Ha ha ha. Mr. Peabody and Sherman. I was supposed to watch this in theaters, but I couldn't because I got in trouble. And I was only 10 years old. But I watched it after it was out of theaters. Man, this movie is a good one. I'm gonna put this 8 here. Uh, you know what? It's gonna go here. It's honestly a very creative movie how Mr. Peabody, this dog, adopts this kid Sherman, and he builds literally a time machine because he's so damn smart. And then they go at different points across history, showing like basically like a history class, but by your own father. But it's honestly really cool how they kept going across history throughout the whole movie. They even meet King Tut, who you guys probably know from the 1400s in ancient Egypt. I learned about him in high school, but yeah, they even go at that era at one point. It was honestly sick. Turbo. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, no. I used to love it as a kid, but honestly, the whole premise and stuff, it's not really for me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's an okay movie. There are some funny parts, but, well, maybe more of a B tier, but honestly, it's not one that I would be watching stuff, and I've seen this as D tier on another ranking video, so the cast was great. There was like Ryan Reynolds, Snoop Dogg, like it was a good cast, just like, nah, it's just not for me. Alright, Penguins of Madagascar. Basically a whole spin-off to the Madagascar series after Madagascar 3. This movie wasn't bad, I'm not gonna lie. It was a good movie. I'm gonna put this as A tier. It was honestly a really good film, and I kind of recommend it. Home. I loved this movie as a kid, and honestly, to this day, I haven't watched it in a few years, but I remember a lot of it, and honestly, it was really good. I'm gonna say B tier, maybe A tier, but I'm gonna go with like the top of B tier, just cause like it's not like the most memorable on this whole list, but honestly, it was still a good one. Only a few more to go. Wow. And yeah, you guys can see I have not seen over half of the DreamWorks movies. Some of them I'm able to watch, like Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, and 3, I think, on Netflix, and then The Boss Baby and The Croods. I just don't really have a desire, man. I just don't want to watch them. If you guys think I should, then leave a comment, I guess. Trolls. I'll be straight up, man. F tier. This movie is so bad. Like, fam, this movie is horrendous. I hated it. I did not want to rewatch it. Like, no, I just, nothing to say. Forgettable, trash piece of garbage. F tier. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie. Honestly, I enjoyed the Captain Underpants books as a kid. And I can definitely tell you that this movie is definitely a great adaptation to those comics. Absolutely amazing. It's not my absolute favorite movie ever, but honestly, it was a fun movie and I'll probably rewatch it. Maybe I will, because it's still on Netflix. So we'll put this as A tier. And now, with that out of the way, the last two, okay, this movie doesn't count because this one's not even released. I don't even know why it's on there. This movie does not release until March. Now this movie, I haven't seen this movie yet, but my brother Jacob says it's absolutely amazing and an absolute amazing upgrade compared to Puss in Boots 1. So even though I haven't watched it yet, I'm probably gonna watch it soon. I'm gonna put this as S tier just because I've heard so many good things about it. But honestly, that's about it. That's about all I've seen. Now, with the rest of these movies. Now, I've seen a tier list of the other movies. I've heard that this is, I think, S tier. This is S tier. This is A tier. This, I believe, is S tier. This is like D tier or something. Honestly, you know what? based on what I've heard about this movie, I'm putting you in E tier, just to have something there. Now, Kung Fu Panda, I never really could get into as a kid with the actual show, so I never really cared to watch the movie. And then Boss Baby, yeah, I just don't want to. And on the other hand, this is the very first DreamWorks movie, and they basically just copy and pasted A Bug's Life. And I just don't want to watch it. Trolls World Tour is Trolls 3 or Trolls 2. If I had to put this somewhere, it would be F tier, just because it's Trolls. And then the same with Trolls 3, Trolls Band Together, absolute F tier. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all the movies I've seen. Well, you know what? I'll put Turbo up one. Why not? I'll put one up. Yeah. I think this is a pretty fair... Actually, let me put Shrek 2 in front of Shrek 1. There we go. This here. So, yeah, I think that's it, honestly. So, yeah. I do want to say thank you guys so much for 200 subs. It honestly means a lot to me that I reached that point. And I wouldn't trade anything for it. And if you guys did enjoy this tier list, then I'm planning on making another one. You know what? I'll make another one for tomorrow. I'm thinking of making a tier list on every 3D Mario game. Because I've played basically all of them. I haven't 100% on all of them yet, but 100% of most. So, maybe I'll do that next. We'll see. And keep in mind that these rankings are my opinion. So, please don't leave a comment saying, oh, Trolls should be S tier. It was so good. Man, I don't want to touch this movie ever again. And the reason why I had to watch it was because my friend wanted to watch it, so I had to. But honestly, I think these rankings are fair. Anyways, thank you guys so much for 200 subs. It means the world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.